Arteta! What a strike! What a screamer! Zola! And a fantastic goal! Arsenal back in it! And here's Limpar, lines it up, finds the net. Arsenal are in front.
It's time to build your perfect podcaster from the Arsenal Vision podcast. You can have all the qualities you want from all the various contributors. You can have Clive's perspicacity, Tim's wisdom and experience, Paul's humor and insight, Scott's analytics brain, and my... This is the Arsenal Vision post-match podcast. My name is Elliot Smith. You can block me on Twitter, Yankee Gunner. Yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to build not the perfect podcaster, because who the hell cares about that? We're going to build the perfect footballer. And here to do it with me, he's back after his isolation from the pod and hopefully from humanity. Paul, he's on Twitter at Pause in My Pants, Little Pause.
Woohoo.
Woohoo. Clive's on Twitter at Clive PFC. Hello, Clive.
Hello.
Tim's on Twitter at Soberto. Hello, Tim.
Hello there.
Hello there. Okay, so first of all, as I do these days, I want to say thank you for joining us and sharing these times together, and I hope you are holding up okay. Strange times, maybe a bit scary and, certainly confusing. So I hope that this diversion, this distraction is helpful. We certainly understand that this is meaningless, trivial bullshit, but to be fair, it has always been meaningless, trivial bullshit. And I think it's important that we stress that. A lot of kind words passing around, so thank you for all of those. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to build the perfect footballer. So last week, we had the player elimination tournament from the Emirates era to determine the winner. And the winner on our pod was Cesc beating out Alexis in the final. And I want to do a quick shout out to Arsblog, who didn't just talk about Cesc, he talked with Cesc. I have had a chance to make it part of the way through the just released Cesc Fabregas interview for his patrons, and then the rest will be coming out generally on Wednesday, and it is already brilliant. Can't stress enough that you should definitely listen to it, if not as a patron, then certainly as a general listener on Wednesday. So enough of that. Anyway, so we did that, and now what we're going to do is build the perfect footballer from a list of the qualities of that footballer. So here's what we're going to use for the list. Left foot shot, right foot shot, heading, dribbling, pace, close control first touch. That one's kind of combined. See it how you want. Vision, movement, tackling, engine, and the one everybody's favorite, mentality. Okay? Now, we're going to do all those. And here's the thing. We are going to do it from the Emirates era. So the Emirates era post Henry is basically how I'll put it. The player has to have spent the majority of their career in the Emirates era. And I know some of you have reached out and say, why the Emirates era? What's so special about that era? I mean, well, first of all, it's the current era. The other thing is, look, the Invincibles were 16 years ago. Crazy to think we last won a title 16 years ago. Still a big club, though. But for our listeners who are 30 years old or younger, that was when they were 14, 13, 12. We want to pick an era where everybody listening has sort of a fresh understanding of those players, and I think it feels relevant. So that's why we're picking it, not because the other eras weren't important or those players weren't relevant, just because the majority of people listening will be familiar with them. So that was at least my thought. So let's start. We'll start with what I think will be the easiest one of all, and that is left foot shot. Paul, you haven't been on the pod, so I'll let you in here. There's really only one choice, maybe?
So I had a short list of 3, but I'm just going to tell you my one, Lucas Podolski.
What? Come on. I mean, don't get me wrong.
What?
If it was power...
Somebody's got a better left foot shot than Lucas Podolski.
I think you'd have to say so.
That's mine too, Paul.
What? Come on. All right, I'm writing down Lucas Podolski.
Paul's got it bang on.
All right, hang on. I'm writing down Lucas Podolski here. But, all right, let me move on to Tim for a second, just for the sake of sanity. Tim, yes, Lucas Podolski had a sledgehammer of a left-footed shot. There is no question. But can you please give the real answer just for sanity's sake?
Yeah, I went for Robin Van Persie.
Yeah,
I did think about
yeah,
Podolski.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
The reason I went for Van Persie over Podolski is if this was who can hit a left foot shot the hardest, then that's definitely Podolski.
Yeah, no question.
But if it's, whose left foot is better at putting the ball into the goal via a variety of means, be that power or pace or with a little bit of pizzazz or a chip or with a variety of deliveries, then it's Van Persie for me all day.
Paul, let me come back to you just for a second. So, look, I have to admit, when I put these two shot things down here, I was like, the first name that comes to my head when I think of someone with an eye-catching, crazy good shot is Lucas Podolski. As a specialist who could just hammer the ball.
You were right.
Yeah, he's a thunder bastard every time. But you would certainly acknowledge that in terms of the variety of ways you can shoot with your left foot, Van Persie is superior to Podolski, yes?
Or would I?
Or would
no,
you?
Yeah.
Good to have you back.
Yeah, but remember, isn't there a rule we can only pick a player once?
You know what? That's an interesting point. So if you have Van Persie, yes, I don't know if I mentioned that rule. You can only pick a player once. So if you've got Van Persie lined up for another quality, then yeah, I think that's good. You know what?
If I had to pick out of everybody, I still think it's a toss-up. I mean, Podolski was phenomenal with that left foot. And you can say, oh, well, if you look at the variety, he didn't need to do deft touches and blah, blah, blah. Because when you have a fucking thunder bastard of a left foot, you just fucking smack it. Because that's what the keeper doesn't want you to do.
I think the expression is it stayed hit.
Yeah. I almost thought we should have the category in the box and outside of the box.
Well, you know what? So I added a category.
Outside of the box.
I added a category because I forgot to have it in there. So we have left foot shot, right foot shot, and now finishing as well. So just general finishing. Someone who, when presented with a chance, would finish. So we'll get to that in a moment. So, all right, Clive, it sounds like you have Podolski as well.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea to rethink that, or are you going to stick with it?
Nope.
Okay.
No idea. And I'll tell you why. For the fact I've seen him live do it lots of times. But I'll tell you what, sometimes things stick in your memory. I went to watch Arsenal beat Bayern one night. I just got in the ground early. And I was low down to where Arsenal were warming up. They had a goal to the side of the goal. And I was watching Gnabry. I was watching Oxlade-Chamberlain. I was watching Podolski take shots from literally 7 yards away. And I'm telling you, the goalkeepers weren't even bothering to save Podolski's shots. It was like they were running away. To see the power close up, honestly, I can't describe it to you. He has got an amazing ability to generate power from seemingly nothing at all. He's not that big. He's just got everything right technically. So when you're looking for the wow factor, you're trying to build something spectacular. You know, we all know Van Persie. He's one of the top 3 players in the Emirates era. So yeah, but we're not talking about best player. We're talking about the best left-footed shot, so that's why I went for Podolski.
All right.
And if you had a category for player you'd least want to receive shots from in training or before a match, it's probably Podolski.
Yes.
It's no fun.
He could also potentially go into the category of player who had no other quality to his game besides a left-footed shot. Tim, you wanted to add something?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Can anyone name another thing Podolski could do other than whack the ball really hard with his left foot?
He's very good at social media, wasn't he?
Yes. Yes. He kept everybody on side for a long time with that. I mean, if Arshavin had been as good at social media as Podolski, then he might not have been construed as lazy, although his belly might have given it away.
Podolski was like one of those old armaments that if you wheeled into place, like the giant something or other pounder gun, like if you wheel it into place and point it and light it, you'll blow a hole in the castle wall kind of thing. That was Podolski.
Anybody got any honorable mention? Tim, is there someone that maybe doesn't stick in the memory, but you have a fond left-footed shot memory of him?
Yes, but given that you've just added the category finishing, I might save it.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Okay. I know you're thinking of Tim.
So I have my vote for finishing. We'll come to that in a moment. I'm going to say Van Persie. Yes?
I was just going to say Pepe could become the guy with the best left-footed shot we've ever seen, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, well, to be fair, I mean, he certainly has a good left-footed set-piece shot. I don't have set pieces on here, and I'm not going to add it because we're already... Look, this is a pod that goes long with 3 categories. We've got like 12, so we're going to move on. Right-footed shot. Okay, Clive, from the Emirates era, who's got the best right-footed shot that you can think of?
Okay. It's going to cause a riot.
Don't say Diaby.
About shot... No. When you say shot, I actually went for Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Oh, you bastard!
Yeah, his game is defined by right-footed power. So yeah.
Good man.
You know, I think what I'm seeing between Clive
from the podcast, we are perfectly aligned.
I'm dialed into you, Clive.
You were supposed to be staying socially isolated, you guys. No, I think what we're seeing from you guys with the shooting thing is that you like the big, powerful blaster of a shot, whereas Tim and I prefer something a little more cultured, which is totally fine.
It's like our performance in bed.
Yeah, we missed you, buddy. We missed you.
Yeah.
All right, Tim. Who's your right-footed shot?
Alexis Sanchez, for much the same reason I went for Van Persie. He can fucking hammer it, he can volley it, he can chip it, he can side foot it. He's just got the variety of finish. And if I wanted to put someone in front of goal on their right foot, it would be Sanchez all day. Technically, very sound as well, good touch on it. And actually, if you could list one weakness in Sanchez's game, his left foot. I don't remember him using it very often, but his right foot was so good. You put someone in the penalty area on their right foot, I want it to be Sanchez.
Yeah. I mean, that's who I've got as well. We're all in lockstep here. Any other right-footed shot? I mean, Aubameyang would be a candidate, although I think he's going to come up in the next category. Could Ramsey be a candidate? I mean, he had a pretty good shot on him. So Sanchez for me, I considered in a few other categories as well, but settled on this one. And the same I would say about Cesc Fabregas. And when you think about it, when he hit that goal scoring run, perhaps in about 2007, took penalties, took free kicks, took corners as well, had the through ball and everything. Very, very nice right foot. If this was just right foot and not right foot shot, I'd have gone for Fabregas. But with the qualifier right foot shot, I went with Sanchez.
So I've got one for you.
Yeah.
Arshavin.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
good
a good
Arshavin.
one. Yeah, that's a really good one.
He was pretty two-footed, but we have a paucity of brilliant right footers.
You know what? Backlift shooters are always fun. Alexis Arshavin, those short guys with no backlift who can really hammer it. Ox, I guess, a little bit too, right? All right, let's get to finishing. Unless, Clive, do you have any more right footers that you want to throw in there? Or is that it? We didn't land on anyone because you guys both picked Ox and we both picked Alexis.
I think
I'll go with Sanchez.
Okay, so it's Alexis.
I thought of Theo as well. Yeah, I mean, it's a very straight shot, but always reliable.
You have to think about. I've gone for the Ox on this category, but I've also got one for Theo and Alexis later on. So I think the players may come up a couple of times, but we just look at them in a different way. All
right, finishing. Tim, who you got?
Okay, so you can probably guess here. This means I've got Aubameyang in another category. I've gone for Eduardo da Silva.
Oh, that's mine. That's my exact one.
Just because, you trust him in front of goal. I always trusted him. In fact, I remember there was a cup game at Burnley in his first season, and he went through one-on-one, and he actually missed. And I just remember the reaction when he missed, and what had happened was everyone had stopped looking because he went through on goal, and so everyone just switched off. And then we were all like, "Hang on, it's not gone in, has it?" Like everyone just stopped registering what was happening. And I guess illustrating a straightforward miss to talk about what a great finisher he was sounds a bit weird, but that's how good he was. He went through and you just thought, yep, that's a goal. And he's another one who had a variety as well of great finishes. So yeah, I wouldn't argue about Aubameyang in this category, but I went for Eduardo.
Yeah, I mean, talk about variety of finishing. How about the goal he scored in his first game back from the long-term injury, right? Chipped over the top and the volley. Yeah, outside of the foot from... Yeah, well, the right side of the box. I just saw that goal, I think, in an Arshavin assist video, actually. Okay, Paul, who you got for finishing? No, Paul's on mute. See, this is first day back jitters. First day back jitters. Yeah.
I'm getting with the flow now. Eduardo for me, because I had one other candidate. Well, maybe two others, but I'm saving them. Eduardo's probably in a three-way tie, but he's probably the man.
Yeah, I have Eduardo, as I mentioned, and just hard to mention Eduardo without getting a bit sad. But Clive, you got another take?
No, Eduardo for me.
Eduardo.
Closely followed by Giroud.
Trigger warning.
He didn't bite.
Could we throw in like a Carlos Vela or something? You know what I mean? Like just someone who's maybe not the best at finishing, but like when he finished, it was always fun, like Chips or something. He was good. Those were fun times. Okay, definitely not Nicholas Bentner. Heading Heading. I think there's probably only going to be one answer here because nobody at
Yes.
Arsenal really knows how to head a ball other than the handsome French bastard. But Clive, I'll start with you. Is that your pick?
Yep, easy. We don't kick the ball in the air. That's beneath us. So yeah, it's only got to be Giroud, hasn't it?
I mean, this is going to be a strange looking player, right? Because he's got the right foot of Alexis, the left foot of Van Persie, the finishing skills of Eduardo, and Giroud's head on him. He's good. At least he'll be handsome. Paul, you got a different take on heading or no?
No, it's clearly Giroud.
I'm right now racking my brain to come up with someone else, as you can imagine. Tim.
Oh, I've got someone else.
Yeah, pick someone else, please.
Yeah. I've gone for someone else just because I've gone for Giroud in another category. Actually,
really? Okay.
Yeah. I've gone for Bakary Sagna.
Of course,
because
you have.
I didn't necessarily go with the qualifier that they were heading the ball at goal.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Bakary Sagna, he didn't lose many headers. I think he possibly scored maybe not the best looking header of the Emirates era, but my favourite header of the Emirates era against Tottenham.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that absolutely. I'm gonna throw in one then that I think belongs in there is Adebayor. I mean, I know Giroud was around longer, but Adebayor was a fantastic header of the ball, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, can I just quickly roll back and mention a left foot shot because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put out a poll for all of these, and I want 4 for each one. We have Podolski, Van Persie, and Giroud as left foot shot. How about Vermaelen? Wasn't he a left footer? And he had a cannon of a left foot, didn't he?
Yeah.
Scored.
he
He
was
had
a
like an
left footer,
8-goal season once, and they weren't like, corner kick headers, all of them. Okay, so we've got Giroud, Sagna, Adebayor. Anybody want to put forth a fourth option for our poll? We're going to go with Giroud here because I'm going to pick Giroud, and Paul and Clive did. So believe it or not, I picked Adebayor, but Paul and Clive picked Giroud, so he's locked in. Anybody got a fourth we can just throw in there?
Marouane Chamakh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't he score
Mikel Silvestre?
Oh, for God's sakes.
But Chamakh scored, I think, didn't he score like 7 headed goals in a row in the Champions League between his time at Bordeaux and Arsenal, something like that?
Yeah.
I think all of his first 5 Arsenal goals might have been headers.
And falling down in the box to win penalties.
Yes.
Okay, so we've come to dribbling, and I've got a sneaky pick here. I'm going to go first since I've let you guys each have a first go. So by the way, if you're keeping track, which why wouldn't you be? We've got Van Persie's left foot, Alexis's right foot, Eduardo's finishing, Giroud's heading, and for dribbling, might I offer, since we've already used Alexis, so I can't use him again, Alexander Hleb. Anyone? Any takers for Hleb?
You can offer it.
All right. Well, I'm going to go to Tim because I know Tim has a soft spot for that. Tim, how do you like my Hleb shout there?
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic shout, actually, and I'm kind of envious I didn't think of it myself. I think that's a great shout. Shall I say who I've gone for?
Yeah, go for it.
I don't think I'm going to be alone here. I went for Cazorla, and again, he's another one who I could have picked in. In fact, I could have picked. You could pick Cazorla for left foot and right foot. Put it that way.
He's my number 2 in a lot of categories.
Yeah. I mean, you could put him in the first touch category. I just went for Cazorla. Just because he did it in the middle of the pitch. I think the qualifier here is if you're going for a 1-on-1 dribble, I'd go with Hleb. If you were going for a 1-on-3, I'd go for Santi.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That does make sense. Yep. And I think, what's hard with Santi is like he had an interesting career, right? Because he started on the left side of the attacking trio, and then he moved back to central midfield. You talk about dribbling, like there's a video. I just saw it today. So someone just posted Arshavin's best assist and best goal, or all his assists and all his goals on Twitter. He had a lot of dribble to him that I kind of forgot that he could do. All right, well, Clive, who do you got in this category?
I went for Alexis, actually.
Did you go for Alexis's right foot, though? Or you went for Ox's right foot?
No. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you've got Alexis. That's
I had
fair.
Alexis. I had Alexis for this piece, but obviously I got sort of outvoted. And Santi was right up there as well. So those are the two that stick out for me. It's just interesting how we see players' primary skill, isn't it? I mean, when you see a player like Alexis, who could do a lot of things on that right foot. I just seem to remember him dribbling a lot.
Yep.
We know he can score, but he scored with his head. He scored with not so many of his left foot, but yeah, he's a right-footed finisher. But yeah, I just thought he was amazing at manipulating the ball, and we used him a lot as a build-up player. And the first thing he did was turn and dribble away from people. Then we would get started. So I seem to remember that a lot more. That's why I picked him as a dribbler, really.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I mean, look, if I hadn't picked Alexis for right foot shot, I'd have him here. But I did pick him for right foot shot. So, Paul, it sounds like it's up to you to settle the tie or put forth a fourth option, in which case we'll have to, I guess, harangue and harass each other into one.
Yeah, so Alexis, yeah, but he lost the ball too often, he says, just stirring the pot a little bit. I'm going with, so it's either Santi for me, but I think there's only one player that rivals him and maybe better, Pepe.
Yeah, I think Pepe has to be on this list. Nope, I agree with you.
Yeah, you can say we haven't seen enough of him, but the one thing we've seen a shitload from Pepe is just astounding dribbling. So
whose soul did he take? Ben Mee. I mean, just the way he nutmegged Ben Mee and his soul left his body, like that to me would be worth making this list. So now we have a problem. We have to agree on one. I'm okay making Santi the choice here because we have an Alexis selection already, or do we want to keep Santi available for a later category and go with Pepe or Hleb here? Anybody have a thought?
Well, close control first touch is coming up soon.
Yeah.
So all right. So do we want to nominate Hleb or Pepe? You guys probably want to go Pepe, don't you?
I do.
Okay. Clive, settle the tie. Pepe or Hleb?
Yeah, I go Pepe because I think I agree. I think he's no matter what he's done since he's been here, whether we think he's strong enough or the rest of it quick enough. In the first, second year, we can see he can dribble. So, yeah.
I've thrown another category in there on the fly. This is how well prepared I am for every episode. I want you to know that the amount of thought and preparation that goes into this is unrivaled. Look, if you want professional, go to the Arscast. If you want some stupid bullshit fun stuff, you're in the right place. I've thrown in passing. Now, this is going to be I think this is going to be a difficult one to nail down. I'm going to leave this to you how you want to see it, but I think sort of the variety and range of passing, including, a final ball, an ability to provide an assist. So I put this in, though, to distinguish it from vision. I think this is all around passing skill, right? So not just the final ball, but just the total package as a passer. And Clive, I'll let you start this one.
Thanks.
Because you weren't ready.
I go for Cesc.
Yep, that's mine.
I go for Cesc Fabregas on this one. I think his passing is not just his length of pass, etc., but he's a rhythm player, isn't he? Sometimes he can just get a rhythm going. Give people the ball, get them into the game, go move it somewhere else, go get it, little rat-a-tat pass, get them into the game, and then we need to lengthen the game. He can run, and we all know what he can do. So yeah, I will go for Cesc in this one.
Yeah, I think Cesc had it all. I mean, Cesc could hit the kind of passes that we praise Xhaka for now. He could play a ball. The pass that Cesc played that I've never seen anyone play any better since he's been gone? The one from deep midfield over the top of the defense onto, not just the one on the ground that split, but the over-the-top ball, that kind of chip ball over the defense. He was brilliant at that. Ozil can do it a little bit from, crossing lanes, from the channels, but Cesc could do it from midfield. It was crazy. So I have Cesc there. Tim, what do you got?
I'm delighted with this. I'm going to go with Fabregas. I had him in another category, but I think this one's much more suitable for him. And those chest type balls to Adebayor, absolutely magic. Short, long, never wasted the ball. Just try and a good discipline for some of these, I think, is try and think about the player getting it wrong. And think about how weird that would look. So think about in the dribble, right? Think about Cazorla trying to dribble past someone and fucking it up. It's weird, isn't it? It doesn't it doesn't
compute.
And it's the same with Fabregas. It's just imagine Fabregas shanking a pass out of play.
Dare I mention the back heel on the edge of his area in Barcelona?
Yeah, but he was playing for both sides.
Yeah.
But and it says, when I was thinking of the right foot shot, and I was think of Sanchez just like completely miss-hitting a shot and it hitting the corner flat, like doesn't compute. And it's the same with passing. Like, yeah, Fabregas for me.
Yeah, I think that's well said. Paul, you want to throw out another name? Or do you want to just say Fabregas?
Well, I'm going to go with Ozil because I just think there's a beauty to his. I think there's tremendous intelligence similarly with how he picks a pass and the pace and that's his whole obsession for me, picking that pass and the playing of the pass. Obviously, you can go either way on a couple of these topics between him and Cesc, but in this topic, I'm going to lean with Ozil for this and save my Cesc because you guys have just blown your wad Cesc-wise.
We've blown our Cesc wad, yep.
Yeah, Sasquatch. But I'm keeping mine for one more category.
So the 4, we've got Cesc and Ozil. I'm going to throw out 2 more to go into this category for the poll. One would be Santi. I think everybody agrees he belongs in here, right? And then how about Arteta as the 4th? Anybody like Arteta for that? Metronomic?
I do, but he was so conservative. I loved him, but he was kind of conservative how he played for us.
I feel like he was conservative a little later, but didn't he start out a little bit more aggressive, a little more?
For a little while.
Yeah. Anybody prefer
someone over? And I'd also like to
Arteta?
prefer Rosicky. Rosicky was because he was always doing it. We don't maybe remember the brilliance of all the passes, but he was always doing it in tight spaces and. He went and looked for the pressure and then he'd find the pass. So I always rated his passing with short response times under pressure. I thought Rosicky was a great little passer.
Clive, you got a nomination other than the ones that have been thrown out?
Passing.
Yeah.
Also, Ozil's the next one on the list.
Yep, Cesc goes with Santi.
Yeah, well, Xhaka.
I figured his name might come up. I'm going to tell you, I refuse to put him in the group, but I do appreciate you mentioning him.
But, again, you look at this, look at it's a primary skill thing, really. Mm-hmm. And you name the things that he can do. It's not shooting.
But can I ask you a question, Clive? So if you're going to put Xhaka,
was pretty good.
If you're going to put Xhaka in there, isn't Arteta a better Xhaka? More passes, a higher percentage, gave the ball away less, like more of a midfield general. Like, I guess I would just say that Arteta, to me, in his prime at Arsenal,
he was more of a continuity player.
Yeah.
He was more of a continuity player, and he was a gap filler because he was playing with Ramsey, what he did is he took his position off of Ramsey and covered the spaces and kept, when he retained the ball, he kept it going again. So yeah, he was. I've got Arteta down for another category. So
oh my goodness. Okay, Tim, please. Mm-hmm.
I'll just throw not better than Fabregas, but I'll throw one into the passing. Alex Song.
Well, he did have that little chip ball on the edge of the area for an assist. What did they? What was the song? The nickname we were giving him when he was trying to be a little more Hollywood and a little less.
Song Aldinho.
Song Aldinho, yeah. All right, let's go on to one that I think is sort of a fun, easy one to do. This one for me is super simple, but we'll move on to pace. And Paul, how about we start with you? Again on the mute. I mean, Paul,
sorry. The Skype cut out.
Oh, I apologize. Yeah, then it's my fault. Blame my ISP.
Yeah,
okay, so pace. Yeah, go for it.
The only question for me is it pace and power. If it's pace, it comes down to two
pace.
players.
Blinding pace. That's
and it's binary. Yeah.
So who you got?
And I think I don't know if you've seen that Hector article on him becoming vegan. And
don't bring
Gunner
it up, please.
Blog did it. And
he's already catching a ton of shit.
How certain people have been going on about him being. I'm like, he didn't even mention me. Yeah. I think Theo has to have it for pace and purpose because he was a bit hit and miss, but he was hit often enough that he was blistering, and he's been blistering for a much longer part of his career than Hector has been because of the tofu. And really, beyond those two, you could maybe throw in Gervinho, who, as long as you ignore the whole finishing part of it, was pretty blistering straight line through the middle. But I'm going to go with Theo for obvious reasons. Speed and impact when he got there.
Yeah, I've got Theo. I mean, I think when Theo was at full speed running away from people, it was crazy. Like, you could not keep up with him. And the Udinese game, I know I've referenced it on this pod before, but he had a goal where he went end to end, and it was just like, meep, meep, and he was gone.
And we needed that goal.
We did need that goal. Tim, who you got for pace?
Yeah, Theo. And you know, when thinking about these categories, I'm thinking about like who's most likely to hurt the opposition with this particular attribute as well. Like that, so we've had a lot of quick players, but if you want the pace to be useful, then it's Theo, because what you mean by that is you want them going towards the opposition's goal in a way that's going to hurt them. So yeah, for me, that's Theo Walcott, no question.
Clive?
Yeah, Theo, because he knows how to use his pace as well. I think Wenger always said he had something called timing as well, didn't he? And for all Theo's speed, he wasn't a massive offside player. You know, he wasn't defined by being offside, unlike Gervinho. And when you have you have to have the ability to stop. I'm not sure Gervinho had that. He ran straight out and got himself a hot dog, came back in. So so I would definitely go Theo, easy one.
So then we got to fill up the category. I think. Do we agree that Hector can go in there?
Yep.
For our 4? Yep. Aubameyang?
Yep.
And then can I put forward a 4th that I don't think people remember just how blazing fast he was when he burst in? Gael Clichy.
You're going to say Clichy?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was so fast.
Yep.
Okay. So we're all going to go Theo, but Hector, Oba, and Clichy are in there. All right. Now comes one that I think is going to be controversial, which we love. Close control, first touch. Obviously, I'm just going to go first here and say this is where I saved Santi for. I've got Santi Cazorla with the close control, first touch, because he was an absolute magician with that. There are a lot of options here, but Tim, I'll go with you. Who do you have here?
This is where I have Giroud.
Wait, what?
Go on, my son.
This, to me, this is much more Giroud's skill than heading. I mean, Giroud was a good header of the ball, but that touch off his left foot with his back to goal, again, remember, I'm kind of trying to think as much as possible in ways that hurt the opposition. Look at the Wilshere goal against Norwich. Giroud's touches in that. Rosicky scores an almost identical one later the same season against Sunderland. Giroud is central to that. Podolski volley against Montpellier. Just look at the first time touch from Giroud on his left foot.
The Wilshere Norwich goal. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, he had an absolutely velvet touch off that left foot with his back to goal, surrounded by players. So I've gone for Giroud.
Clive, it sounded like you had to get something in there. Yeah, go ahead. Fire away.
I was going to say, just to be controversial, a lot of those first touches were first touch passes.
Yeah.
And layoffs.
Yeah.
So
the Giroud flick.
I've done first touch. First touch is normally for the player to do something on his second touch, right? So the best first touch in the Emirates era for me, not even close, and that's Van Persie. Goals.
Interesting.
And the way his shooting is so good is because his first touch is perfect. He's made the second touch so easy. And that's what you do on a first touch. The first touch is always about the next thing that you do. Right? So that's why I say Van Persie for.
And by the way, I don't dislike that shout. I just think picking that category over his left-footed shot. Now, admittedly, you went for Podolski, who did have a sledgehammer, so fair enough.
No, I think it comes back to, again, interpretation of what you've written, Elliot, to be honest. Tim's taking it one way.
Very difficult to interpret.
I can't disagree with what Tim said, and I just have a different view of what a first touch is. And when you sort of, you always want, I do this all the time, right? You give the player a ball and you want his first touch to take him into a situation that allows the next thing that he does to be easy. Do you see what I mean?
Well, if you want to do that, you could put Samir Nasri in this group too, because he was someone who would take a touch in the box or on the edge of the box and take two players out of it.
He's an even better player. Yeah. Santi Cazorla was my other shout for this.
Well, yeah, that's
everything he did on his first touch would always unbalance somebody. The second touch would finish them off. The third touch would be a pass or he gets out something. The first touch is an absolutely massive skill in football, about knowing what's around you, knowing what you want to do next. As the ball's arriving, my first touch must allow me to do my next thing. That's how I read it straight away. That's why Van Persie for me, because it's easy. Because if you look at all his goals, just look at the first touch.
You can make an argument that one of the problems with our current team is you're not putting anyone in the. Well, to be fair, yes, you are. And I think, Paul, are you going to mention him? Because there's one player we haven't mentioned yet who has to be in this group.
I'm not going to mention.
All right, who are you picking?
Clive used up all the oxygen on my pick, Santi.
Well, to be fair, I picked Santi, so I love that you're picking him because now we have a winner in this category.
Yeah, no, he not only has the best close control with his best foot, he has the best close control with his second best foot.
He doesn't have a second best foot.
Oh, good point. He just has one foot, which is why he's so slow. He's hopping around the place. So, I mean, he's just astounding with 2 feet. That's got to beat anybody's 1 foot in our team. The other candidate for me was going to be Arteta, but I'm saving him for another surprise topic later on because he had those small, soft feet, but superb touch as well. Not as eye-catching as Santi, though.
Look, Santi wins this category because Paul and I picked him. Giroud and RVP are the other ones.
That's fine.
We need a fourth, and I'm putting in Ozil. You cannot not have Ozil in this category. He has to be in here.
Absolutely astounding.
The guy can kill a ball in ways that just blow your mind. And, go ahead, Tim.
Yeah.
I was going to say, so I've got Ozil's name written down, and then I've crossed it out because of the next category.
Yep, bingo.
Me too.
We were all keeping our powder dry for this one. I think that's where we were all headed. All right, so Tim, I'll let you fire away. Vision, who you got, buddy?
I've gone with one that will shock you. Giroud, no.
Don't you dare. Trigger warning. By the way, because of your Giroud
obviously.
first touch shout, I'm sending you the full-length video of the Monaco first leg. So, just FYI.
I didn't put him down for finishing.
Fair enough.
I mean, Ozil, because, and again, I wouldn't argue with Fabregas in this category. And in fact, I think you could flip Ozil and Fabregas because Ozil's passing is good anyway, not just his through balls. But
Once again, one of my co-hosts is using up the oxygen on all my picks and all my lines.
But basically, Ozil is the only player who plays through balls where I've gone, I didn't even know that player was like on the planet or in the stratosphere, let alone in the penalty area. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think with Ozil, the thing you would say is that his vision is so magnificent that it's now, I think the reason we're so frustrated with him is he's not executing it like he used to. And that's why the drop-off has become so clear. But when he first arrived, I mean, some of the passes he saw were nuts. And yes, I agree. You could say Cesk's vision is better and then put Ozil in the passing, but you can only pick these guys for one category. So I went Ozil as well. Cesc is certainly a candidate here. Paul, you were chomping at the bit, and since Tim said everything you had to say, do you have anything left?
Yeah, so just to make it clear, I'm going the flip category. I mean, Cesk's vision, they're both brilliant. Cesk's vision, I think my rate of jaw drops with Cesc. The pass he saw that I just, even on replay, I didn't see and I still don't see. I think Cesc was astounding on vision. And I'd flip Ozil to the passing. Maybe
Someone
partly,
listening to music in the background, literally?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No problem. Just double checking. Keep going. Sorry.
What's it to you?
No, nothing. I mean, I thought we'd do a podcast, and like in a
There's
somewhat
coronavirus out there, Elliot.
Yeah, there are worse things to worry about. Okay, fine, keep going.
Cats are eating dogs. Dogs are eating the homeless. It's a massacre.
Cats and dogs living together.
And you're complaining about my music.
I am complaining about I mean, it sounds like it's from some kind of vinyasa yoga kind of thing, too. I don't know. Is that what's going on in the background there? Is it a meditation?
It is, yeah. We've formed a commune here in our building.
As you do. Okay,
Is that a problem with that?
No, and I got no problem with picking Cesc for any category, so you are totally fine with me, my friend. Good. So Clive, anyone?
Yeah, Ozil, mate. That's it. Yeah. He's not just his vision of passing and things you don't see, but also his vision for the game. He plays the game like a chess player, doesn't he? He sees the weakness areas. He puts himself into places where, when he's at his best, where he can run the game from. He visualizes the game, how it's going to play out, 2-3 passes ahead, as well as seeing impossible passes. So yeah, I like that.
Okay, so we're in a bit of a spot of bother here, as you might say, on your side of the pond. We've got Ozil and Cesc in the vision category, and I'm really straining to come up with 2 more for the poll. I would put forward Jack Wilshere could potentially be in here. Is that a reasonable shout?
Yeah, good enough.
You like Super Jackie Wilshere for vision? Tim, you got a fourth option here?
God.
I know.
I'm trying to think of like who came up with like assists and key
Arshavin?
passes.
Nasri at his best was really good. Like
Nasri's
slicing.
I don't mind Arshavin here. He had a through ball. He had a good eye for a pass. No?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay. Alex Iwobi? No, I'm kidding.
What's wrong with Nasri then?
Yeah, all right, you know what we'll
wrong
do?
with
We'll do Nasri also, but we'll take Wilshere out. We'll do Nasri and Arshavin because I'm not sure
Yeah.
that Wilshere's a good shout in there, to be fair. Okay, now we got a tricky one, I think. One that can be interpreted a lot of different ways, which means that hopefully we'll get a lot of different selections here. We all went a little samey on vision for obvious reasons. There are only 2 players that had vision at Arsenal in the last decade and a half. Movement.
Yeah.
So, Paul, since everybody's been stealing your thunder because you have no original thought, I'll go to you first.
Yeah.
Who do you have for movement?
Mr. Silk. I mean, just Mr. Intelligence. RVP. I saved him for this. His movement in the box. I mean, man, could he find that pocket, that little spot, that far post, that near post. Oh, he was superb.
Yeah, I mean, look,
could have
anything
massive
that happens
arguments.
around the box, you could pick Van Persie. I mean, he was a very, very special player, but that's not who I have. I will disclose that at a time in the future. Clive, who you got for movement?
Aubameyang.
Yeah, there it is. He had to be
think,
somewhere. You got to pick him somewhere.
Yeah, I think, his movement, his ability to just travel and see things early and just get there, right? It's not an accident, right? So, and I think, athletically, we haven't got many sort of athletic things on here. Athletically and mechanically, he's perfection, right? His ability to repeat sprint, his speed, his general movement. It's silk when you watch it. So that's what I saved him for.
Yeah, his movement is extraordinary. And I think, you watch the way he makes those runs, one for him, one for the defender. He's so smart. He always, anytime you look up and there's a ball in the box, you're like, ooh, Oba almost got on the end of that, or oh, Oba got on the end of that, or oh, it almost fell to Oba. And that's not an accident. It's just because his movement is so good. Tim, you got another suggestion, or do you have to go Aubameyang?
No, I went with Aubameyang. 2 reasons. I think Clive kind of summed it up there. It's not just because when you think of Aubameyang, right, you think, oh, he's really quick. But how few of his goals are actually scored by just running onto a through ball, that kind of Henry style? Not many. It's usually just because he finds a little nook or cranny in the box. But as Clive said, he's got the athleticism to get into the space as well. So he sees it and he can get there. And it's... like, actually, his finishing is kind of average, which is why I didn't really think of him for that category. But his movement is so good that it kind of doesn't matter. So I think he's a lock for this, even though I agree with what Paul said about Van Persie.
Yeah, I mean, before this season, he was basically a goal per XG guy, right? He was a guy who finished it around the rate you'd expect, but he had so many chances because of his movement. So we need to get 2 more for this category. I would submit that Ozil belongs here because what makes Ozil kind of special is the way he finds space. It's not movement to get on the end of things necessarily, but Ozil always seems to be, or when he was at his best, always popping into space, always popping up to be available. Would we say that's a fair shout there?
Yep.
And then I think Ramsey belongs in here. We think of it as running, but running is movement. And Ramsey is a guy who one of his skills as a central midfielder was to just run beyond the center forward to get into spaces to hurt defenses. So I'm going to throw Ramsey in as an option if that's okay with you guys.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, let's get to a boring one. Tackling. Paul, do you want to just go ahead and say Coughlin so I can get nauseated and we can move on?
I came up with 3 names. Coughlin was a tackling machine. If you're looking for the stats, I mean, he was a great tackler most of the time. Arteta was phenomenal at winning tackles.
Is that who you're picking?
No, Koscielny.
You're going with Kos. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I a fool?
Fair enough. Tim, who you got for tackling?
I don't have a massively strong opinion on this, but I went for Coquelin in the end. Just because, particularly in that period with Cazorla, that's kind of what we really needed because that's probably the one thing Cazorla can't really do. So I went for Francis Coquelin, but I don't feel massively strongly about it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Coquelin is he was a good tackler. He was just a huge, high-volume tackler. It was one thing he was very, very good at. And while, I think there were downsides to what he did when he tried to tackle, like, by and large, he was really good at it. Clive, do you have a different shout for tackling? You're going Koscielny from the sound of things.
Well, I went Koscielny, but actually, you think about it, Koscielny could also be a good tackler, but he's also good at intercepting, blocking, heading, clearances. So we sort of wrap that up into tackling. But really, he's just a good defender. But actually, when you talk about, if I'm being consistent in the way I've done things, you look for primary skills of players. And Coquelin's primary skill was his tackling, his ability to close space and smash into the tackle. So if you're looking to build a player, if he's best defender, Koscielny, but best tackler, Koscielny did lots of other things. So I'm actually going to go Coquelin. I've changed my mind.
Oh, really? You're going
I'm
Coquelin.
saving Coquelin for another category.
If you put Coquelin in mentality, I'm going to murder you and end the podcast early. But, all right, so we need to come up with two others. I think we should put Per Mertesacker in here.
Yep.
Mertesacker's crazy. He never went to ground. At least early in his he could stand up and tackle everybody. His tackling rate was extraordinary. So we need one more. And
Torreira.
You want to put Torreira in there?
Yeah, I think he's good at it.
All right, let's do it. Why not? You know what? Fuck it. We might as well give some love to the modern era. How do you spell his name? Okay, so we got Koscielny winning that category with Coquelin, Mertesacker, and Torreira in the group. Actually, wait a minute. Clive, you went for Coquelin. Paul, you went for Coquelin. Right? Or no, you went for Koscielny.
Sorry, say that again.
Tim, you went for Coquelin, right?
Yep.
So I'm in the hard position of going for Koscielny with Paul, and then we have a draw, or having to pick Coquelin for something, which I don't want to do. But I'm going to pick Coquelin because if I don't, we have a draw and we don't have an answer. So I just had to pick Coquelin for something, and I'm infuriated about it. All right. Let's recap real quick. We have two more categories, but here's what we've got. We got a player with the right-footed shot of Alexis, the left-footed shot of Robin van Persie, the finishing of Eduardo, the heading of Giroud, the dribbling of Pepe, the passing of Cesc, the pace of Theo, the close control first touch of Santi Cazorla, the vision of Ozil, the movement of Aubameyang, the tackling of Francis Coquelin, who could get you a red card against Spurs if you needed it, and the engine of Tim.
It's got to be Ramsey, hasn't
Bingo.
it? I mean,
yep.
It's Rambo. When you it's a bit like a lot of these I deliberated over. Pace, I just went Theo, bang. Movement, Aubameyang, bang. Engine, Ramsey, bang.
Bingo.
Didn't even think about this one. Haven't even got a second suggestion for you. You can't make me think of one.
It's funny.
I can make you.
I put engine in there so that Ramsey would definitely get a category. That's literally why I put it in, because I think it is his distinguishing characteristic. So I could not more wholeheartedly agree with you. But it sounds like Paul wants to be a contrarian, so go for it, Paul.
Yeah, I'm going with Sanchez.
Ooh, Alexis, yeah. Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah.
Do you want to expand on it, or is that it? You're just throwing it out there?
Yeah, he not only did what... look, I love Ramsey, and he's kind of the obvious pick here, but fuck it. He not only did what Ramsey did at Arsenal, for Arsenal, he then went and did it for bloody Chile, Peru, Colombia, whoever the hell he played for.
Wait a minute. He did it for Chile. He's Chilean. Just come on.
Chile, yeah. He had so much energy. That guy was playing for 3 South American teams.
He would
phenomenal.
exercise at halftime. He would go work out after the game. It was crazy. The guy just wanted to run and run and run and run and run. Yeah, he had dog power.
He was never taken off. He never missed a minute. He was wall to wall 12 months of the year.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely a fair shout.
If the category was endurance, Sanchez would walk it, and not least because despite having a great engine, that didn't translate into great hamstrings for Aaron Ramsey, whereas Sanchez was pretty... If it was like durability, then absolutely Sanchez. But yeah, engine, it's got to be Ramsey, isn't it?
What about Danielson?
There were games Sanchez ran over, put Ramsey on his back, and ran around for 20 minutes.
Not Danielson? Nobody likes my Danielson shout?
No,
Clive, who you got?
Yeah, I got Ramsey. It's obvious, really. I think to to his issues, really, caused him lots of problems. His engine was almost bigger than what his body could actually manage. So, defines his game is his ability to do 2.5 jobs.
Some guys I did not have in this category: Danielson, Arshavin, Lucas Podolski. I could go on. How about? I think Aubameyang belongs in here, and I guess it depends how you define engine, but. We've seen it this season. He's been out on the left and he just runs up and down and up and down and up and down in every game, and he can do it all game long and then turn around and do it again.
It's phenomenal.
So I think it's phenomenal that way. What about early, before he came back and was dead and pointy and shouty? What about Matthew Flamini in his first go?
Yes, good shout.
Yeah.
Flamini had a hell of an engine, didn't he?
Yeah.
But when he came back, he was just pointy and shouty and old. But First go Flamini, I think, belongs in here. So let's wrap up with mentality. Now, with mentality, this can cut to it. It can be intelligence, playing intelligence, mentality, like you're a winner. I don't know what that means exactly. Because it's a soft factor, feel free to get all soft factory with it. Get jiggy with it, as the great Will Smith once said. Tim, who you got for mentality?
Oh, God, I really kind of... There were a few I went for, but I'd gone for in other categories. So I thought Sanchez, I thought Fabregas... and I can't decide between two guys who played together very well, actually, in Lauren Koscielny and Per Mertesacker. Koscielny, just in terms of that durability, his nose is hanging off his face, his ankle's on the other side of the pitch, and he just carries on. He had that, that mistake in the 2011 League Cup final, didn't hurt him at all. Like, he just carried on going, and, he had that real, like, bloody-minded mentality. But also Per, just because, he was like a real ambassador. He was, I think, in the dressing room. Massive character.
I almost felt we should have had a category like best leader. Professional. Yeah,
like leader.
Well, that can be part of this leadership mentality. I mean, that's all part of mentality, right? This is the psychology part of the game. How you read the game, how you lead on the pitch.
Yeah, Arteta belonged in there as a player, but I have to go with Koscielny just because I haven't gone with him anywhere else, and he's a bit of a favourite of mine. But I think Per belongs in there, Arteta belongs in there, Fabregas, if he didn't already have about 6 categories he could fit into that one. Szczesny is a guy that I would put in there personally. I know a lot of people wouldn't agree, but I'm going to go for Koscielny just because I haven't put him anywhere else.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Koscielny it is. Clive?
Yeah, I think this is obvious. I went for Arteta.
Yeah.
This guy, this guy was transformational from the moment he arrived, and we are learning more and more about him. So, and he's now our manager. So his confirmation is right there, right? His mentality is right there for us. We get to see more of him than we ever would do any singular player. So I saved Arteta for this one, really, and I think it suits him.
I think the best way to think about this category is if you had to put the armband around one player from the Emirates era, who would you put the armband around? And I think Koscielny and Arteta are both a good shout. I think Mertesacker, as you said, is a good shout. I'm going for Manuel Almunia because... I'm kidding. Come on. Paul, who you got?
So I like your description of it in terms of the mentality and the guy you'd want to put the armband around, but the guy who plays 100% all the time. But he also has to be a big game player and shine in those big moments and have the mentality.
Win a lot of big games in this era, my man.
Yeah, I know. And that's why my pick is Aaron Ramsey.
Yeah. Good
professional shot. On and off the pitch. He grew with every game and the importance of the game. He was never cowed by it. And if only his body and our club hadn't limited him, that guy was world class in his mind. So
there are so many players we could pick to not give this to that it's almost hard to know where to begin. I think I'm in a tough spot, you guys, because I'm pretty sure I used Koscielny somewhere else. Did I? No, because I went Coughlin and tackling to settle the tie. So I do have Koscielny here. I don't know that I love Koscielny for this. I love Arteta, but did I use Arteta somewhere? No, I just threw him in. I think I'm going to go Arteta here. I think mentality is going to be Arteta because I've used Ramsey, which means I'm settling a tie, and the answer is Arteta. So we need a fourth. I'll put Per Mertesacker. Do we all agree that Mertesacker could be our fourth?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
Cesc, as you mentioned, could go in here, but he's in a million categories. So let's see. We're putting the armband around Mikel Arteta's arm. The player has Van Persie's left foot, Alexis's right foot, Eduardo's finishing, Giroud's heading, and good looks. Pepe's dribbling. Thankfully, someone else's final ball. Cesk's passing. Theo's pace. Santi's close control first touch. Ozil's vision. Oba's movement. Coughlin's tackling. Ramsey's engine. And Arteta's mentality, leadership, intellect on the pitch. I love it, guys. I think this is a player who could get into this team. I feel confident that this player could get into this team.
Not without Giroud's first touch, he can't.
Go on, Tim.
So, all right. So let me ask you a question now. You ready? Would you take this player or Lionel Messi?
Well, this player is going to have legs that are the wrong length.
Yeah, I mean, his right foot is going to be a lot shorter than his left. He's going to have a hell of a hard time running. He's carrying a huge head on his shoulders. Hard time running around.
Yeah, he's going to turn left a lot.
Tim, would you take this player or Messi?
I'd take this player now if you gave me Messi maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago, probably Messi.
Clive, this player or Messi?
Messi is the greatest footballer ever to walk this earth. Simple as that.
But this player has never walked this earth, so would you take this player or Messi?
This player.
This is the greatest player ever to limp the earth.
Yeah. No, Messi all day. Mate. Messi's just incredible.
Paul, are you
What if this
taking
player had Giroud's first touch?
Paul, are you taking our limping monster or Lionel Messi?
Let it go.
Yeah, I'm taking this guy. He's going to be really cheap. He's going to be a bleeding, oozing mass. I think it's going to be Cristiano Ronaldo, basically, what we've just created. Like a prettified version of Cristiano Ronaldo. And Messi's better just because he's weird. He's fucking weird, right? He's just totally idiosyncratic. He's the greatest player ever. But if you were to design a perfect player, it comes out as Cristiano Ronaldo. That's what we've just created here.
Now let's pick the player in the Premier League who would break this player's leg and end his career. Because that's invariably what happens to these guys. This has been a lot of fun. Did you guys have fun with this? I had fun with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, we're trying to make some content, and this is what we're doing. We'll do more stuff. We got more stuff going on. We're going to put this poll out so you'll be able to vote, and I will actually do it in such a way where I'll be able to release the voting, and I'll maybe try to hack together some Photoshop of this crazy-looking monster we just built. Pause on Twitter. Pause my pants. Thanks, Pause.
Woohoo!
Everything holding up okay on your end, buddy?
A bit crazy at my company at the moment, but yes, fine, thank you.
Yeah, I would say that you are not alone in that. Tim is on Twitter, Estroberto. Thanks, Tim.
My pleasure as always.
Making it through okay?
Yeah, it's a great time to be a freelance football journalist. No, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, what can I say? I mean, at least you got a podcasting gig. Clive's on Twitter, ClivePAFC. Thanks, Clive.
Thank you very much.
Still drinking the rum?
I had a day off drinking today. It's Monday, right? But it's still early.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, buddy.
I haven't got an issue, honestly.
It's nearly Tuesday, Clive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I'll get through it somehow.
Someone on Twitter pointed out that we should bring back the advertisements because lingerie and beer would be like the perfect quarantine starter kit right now, which is pretty stuck at home with your partner, get drunk, put on the lingerie, and 9 months from now, you have some Corona babies. Well, anyway, my name's Elliot. Block me on Twitter, Yankee Gunner. We love you guys. We hope you are, and gals, of course, holding up okay. We're sending you our love and support, as I hope you are sending each other, and take care of each other. We have to take care of one another in times like this. But in times like this, there's plenty of time to listen to podcasts. Definitely go listen to Arsblog's interview with Cesc. But, maybe listen to this one too. You have, because you're at the end of it. So thanks for doing that. We love you, and we'll talk to you after Arsenal 20, Corona. Nope, wait. Arsenal 20, COVID-19.